My name's Daniel. I'm 29, and for just over a year I've been working the overnight shift at a small gas station off Route 9 in Tennessee. It's a quiet stretch of highway. After midnight, maybe a few cars pass every half hour. My shift runs 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I'm the only employee there the whole time. The job isn't hard. Restock shelves, clean the coffee area, wipe down counters. Most of the night, I'm just sitting behind the register watching 4 security monitors. I preferred the overnight. Quiet, predictable. Nothing really happened. At least, that's how it was until late October. The first time I noticed the SUV, it was around 1:30 in the morning. The pump sensor chimed. I looked at the monitor. Black SUV at pump 4. Engine running. What was strange, it was parked passenger side to the pump. Most people pull up driver's side. Small thing, but you notice it when you're watching a screen all night. I waited for someone to get out. No one did. A minute passed. Then 2. No door opened. No card swiped. The pump handle hadn't been lifted. After about 5 minutes, the SUV pulled away and headed north. I checked the transaction log. No sale. No declined card. Nothing. I told myself the driver changed their mind. It wasn't that strange. Or so I thought. The next week, it happened again. Same time. Around 1:45. Same black SUV. Same pump. Same position. Engine running. No one getting out. For minutes later, it left. That's when I started paying closer attention. Over the next few weeks, it kept happening. Not every night, but regularly enough that I noticed. Always between 1:30 and 2 a.m. Always pump 4. Always the same stillness. One night, I walked to the front window to look at it directly instead of through the camera. It was definitely there, idling. The windows were tinted too dark to see inside. The rear passenger window looked slightly cracked open, maybe 2 inches. Just enough to notice. Something about it sat wrong. I couldn't explain why. I went back behind the counter and looked at the monitor. The SUV was gone. No headlights turning on. No sound of it pulling away. It was just gone from the screen. That was the moment I stopped dismissing it. The night everything changed, I remember it clearly because I hadn't put on music like I usually do. I don't know why. I just didn't want it. The store felt quieter than normal. The kind of quiet that has weight to it. At 1:34 a.m., the pump sensor chimed. I didn't even look up. I already knew which pump. Pump 4. Black SUV. Same position. Engine running. I watched the monitor and I waited. Nothing moved. Not for 6 minutes. Then the courtesy phone rang. It's a mounted handset between the pumps. Connects directly to the counter. Emergency line from the 90s. I tested it once when I first started. Never heard it ring since. I picked up the receiver. I didn't say anything. At first, all I could hear was a low sound. It was hard to place. Could have been wind outside. Could have been breathing. I stood there holding the phone, and I couldn't tell which one it was. Then the sound stopped, and a voice said my name. Daniel. Not a question, not a greeting. Just my name. Flat. Like it already knew me. Like saying it was a formality. I asked who it was. The line went dead. I set the phone down. Walked to the front window. The SUV was still there. Then I saw something else on the monitor. Near the tree line at the far edge of the lot, a dark sedan. Parked just outside the entry sensor strip. Not at a pump. Just sitting there in the thin edge of the lot lights. I had no idea how long it had been there. I stared at it for a few seconds. And then I heard something outside. Gravel shifting. Slow footsteps. Not running. Not sneaking. Just walking. Unhurried. Like whoever it was had nowhere to be and all the time in the world. I couldn't see anyone. I turned off the store lights and stood in the dark so I could see the lot better through the glass. The SUV was still at pump 4. The sedan was still near the trees. The footsteps stopped. I don't know how long I stood there. Long enough that my eyes adjusted and I could see the full lot clearly. Long enough that the coffee machine finished its cycle and I never heard it. Nothing moved. The lot was completely still. Then, just before 2 a.m., I looked at the monitor. Both vehicles were gone. No headlights. No engine sounds. No motion on any of the 4 camera feeds. Just an empty lot. The next morning, I asked my manager to pull the security footage with me. We reviewed the recordings from that night. Pump 4 was empty the entire time. No SUV, no sedan, nothing. We went back through footage from the previous weeks. Every time I remembered seeing that SUV empty. Every single time. The lot was completely clear on camera. My manager said it was probably a recording error. Compression glitch. Something technical. He'd have it looked at. But then I checked something else. The fuel dispensing logs. Every time I had seen that SUV, every single Tuesday, Pump 4 showed a brief system activation. Not a sale, not a transaction, just a few seconds of initialization, then nothing. The pumps don't activate on their own. You have to lift the handle. There's no automatic test cycle at 1:30 in the morning. Nothing in the system showed any errors. It shouldn't be possible. I still work there. Same shift, same station. The SUV hasn't come back since that night. But sometimes, around 1:30 a.m., the pump sensor still chimes. When I look at the monitor, the lot is empty. It's always empty. There are just a few seconds between when the sensor goes off and when I turn my head toward the screen. I've started thinking about what could happen in those few seconds. I've also stopped answering the courtesy phone after 1 a.m. I don't know who knew my name. I don't know what was parked at Pump 4. I don't know what was walking across that gravel in the dark while I stood there with the lights off. But whatever it was, it told me something that night. You don't have to do anything. So I don't.